Welcome to Bicycle Retail Radio, presented by the National Bicycle Dealers Association. This is where bicycle retailers, industry innovators, and advocates come together for real conversations about what's happening right now in bike retail, from cargo bikes to carbon fiber. Each episode explores the challenges you're facing, the opportunities ahead, and the people driving our industry forward. We go beyond the surface to uncover practical strategies, fresh perspectives, and authentic stories from shop owners who've been where you are. Whether you're navigating staffing challenges, adapting to market shifts, or looking for your next breakthrough idea, this is your community. Since 1946, the NBDA has been in the trenches with specialty bicycle retailers, providing education, advocacy, and connection when you need it most. Want to be a part of this community? Learn more about NBDA membership at nbda.com.
What's up, NBDA members? Tom Parker of Tack Gloves here. Here's a summer deal designed specifically for bike shops. Get 40 pairs of custom branded gloves for only $16 each. That's down from our normal $23, plus just a one-time $25 design fee. It's an easy, low-risk way to put your shop's logo on a premium glove and create something exclusive for your customers. This offer won't last forever, so if you ever wanted your own glove program, now's the time. Contact TAC and let's get started.
All right, listeners, welcome to the Flex. Yes, you're in the right spot. This is our Retail Design Flex. This is our ongoing podcast feature focused specifically on store design, remodeling, and merchandising, and it's produced in partnership with NBDA Association member Fixture Lab. I'm Heather Mason, Executive Director, and I'm joined here by Brian Hawkins. Brian, so nice to see you.
Why, hello. It's a pleasure to be here.
I absolutely love this podcast. Always a fun time. So listeners, you know the routine, and if you don't, you need to. We're linking in our show notes over to the Fixture Lab website. Fixture Lab has been in the bike shop design and merchandising industry for years, and they understand what retailers are going through. They know what works and what doesn't work, and Brian and his team work hard to help you find solutions that are attractive to customers and help make your shop more profitable. So if you run a small retail business in cycling, fishing, fly fishing, any outdoor sport, you need to know about Fixture Lab.
Well, I would say that if you have a big one too, you should know us.
Yes. Okay. Fixture Lab also makes a full line of retail store fixtures that help you present things like pedals and helmets and other stuff in really unique ways, amazing ways, eye-catching ways. I mean, just like cutting edge ways. So learn more at fixturelab.com. Brian, let's tell people about why we're doing this. This is our bi-monthly feature that we're helping retailers like you answer your most pressing questions on store design. So we're here coming to you live on Bicycle Retail Radio. Maybe you're streaming us on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or wherever you get your podcasts. But guess what?
Wow.
You want to go to the NBDA YouTube channel because we have a lot of images, and you're going to want to see the images that go along with the audio version of this episode. So
turns out visual merchandising and store design is very visual.
Yes. So don't be one of those people who pops out your phone right now as you're driving and gets on your YouTube channel. No bueno. Get to where you're going, finish your bike ride, finish your run. And then pull up the YouTube. Yeah, Brian, thanks for continuing to come on and support retailers via this.
It is always my pleasure. I'm always psyched to do this. And I just want to encourage everybody watching, listening to send photos, send videos, because we use that stuff really directly. Like, in fact, the inspiration for today's topic that we're going to talk about is actually from one of the questions that we got when we were asking for input months ago.
Yeah.
So send us photos and send us videos and ask questions. And Heather, I've prepared 3 sample questions that might be good thought starters for what one might ask us when they write.
Yeah. So retailers, you can send us your questions to design@nbda.com. And Brian and his team are going to get back to you. And we might just answer your question, or we might use your question as a show feature like we're going to do today. So this is a big deal, like a super big deal.
It's a super big deal.
What are some questions?
So, okay, so samples of questions that would be kind of typical for what we hear might be, my helmet display is a freaking mess. What do I do? Or my architect says he can design our store. Should I just let him do that?
Hmm.
Or I have a dark spot in the back corner that seems like it'd be perfect for a mirror ball. Does that seem like a good idea?
Yes, buy the mirror ball. The other one's all
Yeah.
questions you should
I
ask.
mean, they're not always that easy, but the mirror ball's definitely 100%.
Yeah, I mean, listeners, it can be anything. It can be questions about your entryway. It can be questions about your dressing room. We get lots of questions about the cash and wrap or how to display bicycles, merchandising, clothing, helmets, socks, water bottles, all great questions. And just send them over. Design@nbda.com.
Just don't ever ask the question about displaying bib shorts because
Yeah,
it can't be done.
no,
You
not
know,
a good question.
it's
No,
an impossible,
no,
it's like,
not a good question.
sorry.
Let's move on. Yeah, Brian, let's tell our listeners about the exciting topic that we're going to dig in today. And let's give them a background on why this is our topic.
Okay, so a little ways back, Dan Schumann from Marblehead Cycle wrote, and he had a question because he was revamping part of his store. And then I ended up having a conversation with him about this one wall where he wants to put apparel, or he has started to put apparel, but he's like, that wall's eh,
Yeah,
kind of meh. But I want it to work really well. So do you have any suggestions? So when I saw the opportunity there, I thought, man, this is a great one for me and Heather to talk through, look at the before pictures, and then I've got some examples of what we might do in response to his request. Sound like a plan?
it sounds like a plan. It sounds like a plan. So it's this meh wall. Oh, here we go. Like it.
Mm-mm-mm. Turning a meh wall into a money wall. So one encouraging thing is what we're looking at today, I think makes a huge difference for the store, or would make a huge difference for the store. And it's not terribly complicated and it's not terribly expensive. Could be tackled pretty darn quickly, especially if one's a little bit handy and you can do the work yourself. Not a big deal to do. Want
I
to dig in?
Yeah, I just want to say, Dan, thanks for reaching out. I've heard from retailers, because I work with so many of them, Brian, one-on-one. Like I wanted to write to you guys. I wanted to send you images, but I get nervous, like embarrassed almost, like to do it, right? So, Dan, thank you for going for it, for sending us this image, for getting our opinion on this, because we really truly want to help. And so that for any retailers listening, don't be embarrassed. Send us your like meh walls happen. But Brian, why do meh walls happen? Is it just kind of
Oh, it's so easy to get there because it turns out the bike shop people, the owners, the managers, there's other things to do besides doing incredible merchandising and lining things up perfectly. So there's a thousand challenges every day that keep you from doing the right stuff. Another big problem is that I say we because I do the same thing here. It's just not a retail store. But you've got blinders about what's going on in your own environment because you're there every day.
right?
And you
That's
just don't you stop seeing things that the customer sees and that someone with a fresh eye would see when you look at it. So let's look at the store.
oh, is that the meh wall?
That's the meh wall right back there.
Wow.
So Dan's looking at featuring clothing on that wall, but it's a smaller shop and you've got a lot of product in the store like this and everything is fighting for wall space. Everything's fighting for floor space. And there's some interesting challenges there, like the mini split HVAC unit that's on the wall or the electrical door that's there.
Mhm.
Um, just the amount of product that's on the floor is a challenge inside that environment.
Yeah,
But I mean, you can start to see where there might be some opportunity. So I saw this, I was like, oh shoot, this is perfect for an example of how we might revamp things pretty easily and take better advantage of that wall. So I wanted to talk with you, Heather, about what you see, what I see going on in these pictures. Because what we see here, you could go into almost any shop across the country and you're going to see some form of the problems that we talk about here.
I mean, I've been in so many shops and like you see it. Like they might have like a kick-ass helmet display that's super organized, but there's always like a wall, kind of where they're trying to display too much because they've like run out of room and it's like the odds and ends left over, and it just kind of looks like visual clutter and just makes it hard to engage. It's almost like it almost is like too cluttered that I don't even want to go over there.
Right. And one thing that really stands out, if it's the biggest thing, but it's a really big thing, he's put this little mini cash wrap counter there because he needs one someplace other than the main counter that's across the store. Problem is, when you have this counter here, this now becomes off limits to the customer. It's exactly the opposite of what you want.
Mhm.
Like this feels like these might be items that customers are waiting to pick up, as
Yeah.
opposed to sexy things that need to be purchased.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I'm looking at the wall and I understand like probably why it's gotten that way, but I'm thinking like we need to paint, we need to spread things out. And like if we want this wall to make us money, let's feature products that are gonna make us money. Like,
Uh-huh.
I don't know, Brian. I'm not the pro, but that's just what I'm thinking about.
Well, another thing that stands out to me is the plastic tubs.
Yeah. Yeah.
You look at that kind of, and it happens over here too, over towards the left. There's a box over there that's open under the bike. There's
Hmm.
another tub there, another tub there. Um, Backstock out on the floor is needing to do that is understandable. It's not preferable because you want to try to pretty up the presentation, but if you have to have backstock for clothing or whatever it is, shoes or whatever, putting it in something that feels like you would toss on a garage shelf isn't the way to go because this is one of those things where your eye, as the person in the shop every day, you just don't see that. And if you do see it, you kind of excuse it because it's kind of necessary to have that product there. But we can do something better with the backstock product if we have to.
I am so happy Dan reached out. Like, Dan, thank you for this because like yeah, we're gonna hopefully dive into some good solutions because it's just like you think you're doing the right thing, right? But
Yeah, well, he is doing the right thing. He reached out, and
okay.
now we're going to help out, and hopefully it can really do things. Okay.
Oh, Brian,
Um,
I have a question.
one,
I'm sorry.
yes,
I have a question.
yes,
So
yes,
I'm
ma'am,
seeing
please.
a variety of products. It looks like fenders, looks like clothing. How, but like we want it, like our brain is like we want to show it all, but I doubt that that's the case. So how do we deserve?
I'm
How do,
so glad you said that because I said the same thing when I saw this. I said, you described a clothing wall, and what I'm seeing fenders there and some other things. And he's like, yeah, those just kind of ended up there because we didn't have any place else to put them. Which again, very understandable. But if we're going to do the best with the clothing wall, we need to tell a story about that particular product or make a bigger presentation and include a couple different categories. But this feels the way it sits, the way it is, it just feels kind of random. And again, that's adding to the fact it's behind the counter. So it feels like backstock or off limits to the customer. So it's never going to sell here. Nothing's going to sell from back there. Also, the way that the clothing is shown isn't really showing the clothing. It's on a hangrail bar where everything is there's too much in there. It's too jammed in, and showing all of the clothing in that I don't know what's in my throat. Showing all the clothing in that perspective isn't doing it any favors at all because you can't see the beautiful parts about the clothing. You can't take in the great colors. You don't see the great designs. It's just, it feels like backstock again. So
Yeah.
we want to change that aspect. We want to limit the different categories that are being displayed on the same display. We want to remove the tubs, remove the cash wrap or the counter there. And even if we just turned it 90 degrees and put it over here, it would be a better solution than putting it right where it is.
Hmm.
Another thing that I see when I look at this is, Heather, you and I have talked about slat wall a number of times. The problem with what's happening here is that it's slat wall, which, I'm not a huge fan of slat wall because of the problems that it kind of naturally presents. But just putting one 4x8 sheet of slat wall on the wall feels uninspired. It doesn't do anything for you. Like it feels like, I don't know, like you just didn't care too much about that spot.
It may honestly, Brian, like, and Dan, I'm sure you're listening, and I'm sorry if this sounds, yeah, I'm
Oh,
like
here
trying to
it
be
comes.
careful, yeah, but I noticed the wall more than the clothes. I noticed the white space more than the clothing, like because of the way it is. Like, I don't know, that's just what my eye does.
And at the same time, as you're looking at this, there is a fair amount of wall space that's
Yeah.
not being used.
Hmm.
We haven't done much to utilize all of the wall space there at all. And we kind of took the path of least resistance and put slat wall, just a single sheet of slat wall with no trim or nothing to dress it up, by the way, on the wall. Okay, so this is just a different view that shows these other products. There's that unfortunate heater air conditioner thingy coming off the wall there, which is, we can't move that. So let's
Whoa.
look at what we might do in that location.
Oh my God, wait a second. All right, I'm just gonna let you start, but listeners, I think we are in for a treat right now. Yes, I
I,
see. I
Heather just saw a picture of herself in here and she got really excited. I don't know.
mean, the whole wall just like radiates now.
Okay, so so what I did was I took his exact dimensions of the wall. So the heater's in the right location. The size of the wall is in the right location. The colors. I didn't even change the color of the wall. I just embraced the color of the wall, I guess. I mean, I think based on what we see in those pictures, it chances are it could use a coat of paint, but I'm trying to keep it really easy. Like I didn't put in uh, wild wall treatments and things like that in here. But as you can see, I mean, the things that I'm addressing are really straightforward. We moved the cash wrap out of the way. Um, I put slat wall in there, but I changed the shape of it. I merchandised much more stuff on the wall,
Mhm.
and we did a couple other things. So I'm gonna take you around the model a little bit here and show you. Okay, so this is the 3D model. The thing we just looked at was like a rendered view of this same model.
Yeah.
So inside this, we can drill into the details, starting with lighting. When you look at what was happening um, in the stores, here, let's look at
It's
this.
just like a track light. Yeah, yep, okay.
It's just like some fluorescent or they might be LEDs, but it's just linear lights on the ceiling. And look at what's happening. I mean, the light over here on the wall is just super flat. There's, it's not going to, even if you did an amazing display here, the light's not going to do it any favors. It's going to flatten it and make it kind of meh looking, right? So let's go to this one. Okay. So all I did was I left the existing lights. You can see the linear light here that's still on the ceiling. And then I added one 8-foot section of track lights.
Nice. So that's easy. You could just go to your hardware store, buy it,
Yep.
put them up.
And if you want advice on how to select the right track light, don't forget that there's a previous podcast about lighting.
There
right here, which is going to be, I went back and looked at that episode and it was, I think, I think you did an amazing job, Heather.
Well, thank you, Brian. Wow.
Francis here with an important update. Summit Canada is approaching fast. July 29th and 30th, 2026 will be here before you know it, so it's your last chance to secure your spot. We're bringing the NBDA Summit experience to Canada for the first time, and the response has been incredible. Multiple focus areas, countless opportunities to learn from the best Canadian retailers, and connect with peers from across the country. Plus, you'll meet with representatives from HLC, OGC, LTP, and Giant, the distributors who are supporting your success. If you've been waiting to register, now is the time. Don't be the shop that hears about all the breakthroughs and connections after the fact. You need to be in the room on July 29th and 30th. Here's the best part. Registration is completely free for retailers. Head to nbda.com right now and claim your spot. This is it. Summit Canada, July 29th and 30th, 2026. Register now at nbda.com. We'll see you there.
Okay, here's what we did at the slat wall. Rather than just sticking one 4x8 sheet sideways on the wall, you'd have to buy 3 sheets to pull this off. And none of them are full sheets. We could have, given the shape of things, we could actually probably do 2 full sheets and 1 cut. But I chopped it down a little bit. So I don't know, there's like a kind of an intuitive tell when you see a chunk of slat wall that you just know that that thing's 4x8 and they didn't bother to cut it.
Yeah,
So I try to change the dimensions of it so it feels very intentional.
it does. But I can see like the DIY, like not, if anyone did want to DIY, like you could like just cut it down and make it happen, right, Brian? Yeah.
Yep, you could do this. Um, so I used white slat wall, and I would recommend in this case, if we're kind of going to do the whiteout kind of a thing, which can be a cool look. I mean, it's not for everybody, but it could be. If you do the whiteout kind of look, then get white slat wall and do the white little inserts that we've looked at before.
Hmm.
Just Google slat wall insert and you'll find a white plastic insert that you can throw in the slots. So it really turns the whole sheet white. And you wouldn't even see the contrast that my 3D or that the model here shows. It would just look like,
Can I,
more subtle slots.
can I overshare something right now?
Ooh, yes.
So I am like in love with the color alabaster white from Sharon Williams. I just want to say,
Hmm,
I just did my whole house in alabaster white. It's like
really?
awesome. So I don't know, I don't know how you feel about that, Brian, but
I guess I don't know Alabaster White personally. I don't know it as well as you do. I bet I'll like it though. I mean, this could be a good Alabaster White. Okay, so here's another problem with slat wall. Let's say you did do Alabaster White walls. They don't make us Alabaster White slat wall.
Oh,
You got
yeah.
to think about that. So I played with, well, I mean, I just went with the fact that the wall could be white or just off white, and then went with the fact that we can easily find white slat wall.
Just
A
white.
lot of times slat wall materials are dorky looking, and you got to be careful of that too. There's some really, really awesome slat wall out there. And there's some slat wall that you can paint, but the stuff you can paint has problems too because you're putting hooks and stuff on that all the time, so it scratches.
Yeah.
It
Okay.
gets it gets ugly quick. Okay, so in addition to just putting the slat wall in the arrangement that I did, I just did some really simple trim around it.
Hmm.
This is 3/4 inch wood that's painted and it's only 2 inches deep. And then you could just nail that or screw that or attach it however you want to onto the wall, onto the slat wall, just to frame it in and make everything feel intentional.
I like it.
So you're not seeing the edges of the open slats on the wall. It just makes it feel like we really intended to do this. And then in addition, There's more than one way to skin this cat, but I just thought this this kind of a solution where you actually just run the trim around that electrical box, it's not the end of the world. It's not what you'd have if you could just design the store from scratch, but you can almost never pick all the details of the wall, so you're going to have something that you have to work around. And this kind of a thing, it's not the end of the world, so you could just embrace the fact that that's there. And because did your eye immediately go to the cutout on that thing when we were looking at the whole presentation?
No, not really. I thought it blended well, actually. No, it really didn't.
I don't think it's going to stop anybody from buying the product because we've jogged that around. We could also cover that in some different ways, to make it to do an even more creative solution around covering it up. But I also stuck in some of the little bit of white space that's not shoppable. I just tried to tell more of a story with the wall than was happening before. Because what was happening before was no story whatsoever. So this It's a Great Day, let's go for a ride thing that happens on either side. It's I don't feel like I have to fill all the white space or negative space on a wall, but
Mhm.
this presented a good opportunity to do that. And then if we look at the way that we merchandised it, remember in the before picture how every garment was just displayed like this on a rail.
Mhm.
And there were too many of them, and they weren't organized. They weren't broken into colorways or anything. So we can still do some of that kind of thing, but we want to show the beautiful way of showing the apparel so it's facing out or so that it's on a mannequin that see here in a second. So we want to we want to mix up the merchandising. So we're showing a couple different ways of seeing what's going on there. I put a plant on a shelf
Oh,
to kind
nice.
of
It
make
looks.
things natural feeling. I also did this just for grins. I rolled up jerseys and put them in cardboard tubes. So you could get mailing tubes. These are 3-inch tubes. You could get mailing tubes, roll up the jerseys that are above so that you could go in here and purchase a jersey just by pulling out the little piece of the little tube.
I like
Because
that.
I don't know, it's an efficient way to utilize the little bit of space there that we have above the hangrail that's at the bottom. So, and then I threw in some water bottles just to kind of cross merchandise things a little bit more because we're telling kind of a fun little color story here. And why not grab a water bottle that matches the thing you're doing with the clothing that you're purchasing? Then I put a lot of product on the hangrails at the bottom of this display just to show that we could fit a lot of product in there, and we included shorts and bibs in there. Up at the top, I put in, I don't know where they got these t-shirts, but man, these are some amazing, amazing t-shirts.
Mhm.
Really, really good stuff there. Okay, so those are just t-shirts in frames that we've all seen before. We make the exact product that you see there, we make for our fixture system, but you can find t-shirt frames. If you could go online, you can find t-shirt frames that you can put on the wall. And that would be a good way to use the space above that little mini split up there, or at least one of the ways to do that. And it's kind of fun because
Yeah.
it's colorful. And then it shows what's below on shelves. So you would see the shirt up above, and then you could go to the shelf and pick out the right one and the right size.
Pulls your eye away from the unit. So it's there.
Right. The unit really pretty much disappears.
Hmm.
Here, let's look at this.
Yeah.
It it just kind of blends in once we've handled everything the right way. That was one of the other reasons why I went with white too, because we're not going to paint the mini split. So if we can't paint that, if we did a dark color, then that thing's going to pop out like like crazy.
Yeah, just make it not the focus. Like it's there, but it's not the focus anymore. Also, you've streamlined, like you've removed the bins and the bikes that were up against the wall in the corner, and that is helping too.
Yeah, well, let me talk about that for a second here. Let me go back to this. I left a hitch rack because that's what's happening in the photos that we go back to. If I went back to the as is photo, there's bikes on hitch racks here. So I left the hitch racks there, and you could leave the bike there. I just figured for the sake of, and I also didn't throw the bikes on the floor because I didn't want to cover up what we're showing here. But I'm trying to work with what's in the store as much as possible. I left the bikes that are on the rack right next to it here. Let's go down. Okay, so now we're here and we go to the right-hand side. Mannequins in a display like this, little torso mannequins, perfect. Like this stuff shows clothing, the hangrail style presentation. The hangers on a face out, they show clothing, but mannequins really sell clothing.
Is there
Like they,
something, Brian, is there also something to like the different depths of the display too? So it's not just like a flat wall, all with like it
Mhm.
has like it makes your eye kind of move around a little bit.
Yeah, absolutely. It's up and down, side to side, in and out, like from the wall. If you have some movement going on there, not too terribly much, but if you have some interesting things happening there, it does. It makes it kind of invites your eye to go around that display and see everything that's there. So
Mm-hmm.
we've actually displayed bib shorts, which is impossible to make look good. But in this environment, where you see, the product could be on the mannequin up here underneath the jersey, and then you see where you're going to grab it down here. And then I threw in some mountain bike shorts, but those could be regular black shorts too, or whatever's on the mannequin above. And then I threw in helmets because there's a nice cross merchandising there
Mm.
to
Yeah.
go along with. You're going to buy a new jersey. You're going to get, like gloves might be a nice thing to throw in here. A few socks might be a nice thing to throw in here, depending on how and what you want to display.
Yeah. I really like this. I really like what you've done with this. Um, do you think this will increase the cadence that this product sells, Brian, the way it's displayed like this?
Well, let's go back to as is.
Yeah.
Like, there's just such a big difference between what's happening in this photo and what we're seeing in this. This is going to increase the sales.
Yeah.
And another thing to look at here, honestly, is the capacity of the wall. Like, holy cow,
You
there's
increased it so much. You can put more.
3 times, 4 times as much product on this wall, and it's more inviting. And you see the colors better. And in the old one, we had the problem of it not feeling like it was even shoppable product. So I think sales on this wall would go from almost nothing to to exciting
Yeah. I mean,
by making that change.
this could be a weekend project. I mean,
Don't you think?
it could be. I can see it. I can see this being executable.
You get and by the way, if there's anything here that somebody's looking at and they're like, "Oh, that makes me want to do that thing," and you don't know where to get something, then reach out to me, reach out to Heather, because we can help you figure that part out. Like, I don't know, the in the rendering, the letters are black. In the 3D model, I had them white on white. I
Brian,
can show you how to do that. We can create those things for you.
how important are it's a great day and let's go for a ride? I mean, my thought looking at this is this the wall makes me happy. It makes me kind of it invokes a feeling in me that's like, oh, happy and uplifting, where the other wall is kind of like, meh, like So do you think the words are helping with that, or is it the light, or is it the additional color?
Oh, oh, it's everything.
Everything.
It's everything together. The problem that we talked about is that this just it doesn't feel inspired, and it doesn't feel like the people that set this up were super excited about the product and super excited about what they got to do there. But if we change that up, this feels like someone had a lot of passion for what they were doing here, and they have passion for getting out and riding bikes. They're encouraging people to get out and go for a ride. There's nice little smiling faces on the wall. There's bright colors. There's great light. It's like everything is working together to say to, and this is why you get involved in cycling to begin with. Like it's an exciting, it's fun, it's carefree. So we want to intuitively and literally tell the story of going out for a ride and having fun.
And now some retailers might look at this and say, okay, but I don't have 20 yellow jerseys and 10 pink jerseys, and I don't want to invest in any more products, so I only want to use the product I have. Like, some people just are like kind of like talking about like the negatives. So if that's the question and they don't want to make the investment in product that matches or whatever, can they still achieve this look or can they still achieve something like this?
Yeah, well, the when I'm setting up this kind of a model, I have the advantage of I can just duplicate things as much as I want to and create color stories that way. And I can fill in a rack perfectly, and I can fill in the shirts that are or the jerseys that are in tubes and make everything perfect. Even if you can't do that though, this presentation, even if the stuff were more mismatched, or if there was a little gap someplace, or if there's a light product, like we're light on some product and heavy in other products, even if you have those problems to deal with, at least setting yourself up with the way that this is set up merchandising wise, you're taking a lot of the problems away. And if you still have a few problems, it's a lot easier to deal with.
Yeah. I find like when we do this with a retailer, we've done this in the P2 meetings where we'll actually redesign the store like after the visit and we start re-merchandising and then the product actually they're like, oh, I didn't know I had that. And all of a sudden you actually have this like beautiful product that you didn't even know. And it's now so much more valuable. Before it was on a closeout rack and now it doesn't need to be closed out because it just looks better. So, and then when you reorder, when you sell through, you can order in the color stories. So don't be held
And
back because you don't think you have it now.
and a lot of the problem that you're talking about happens in the merchandising. Like, okay, I'm going to take a gamble. You ready for the gamble?
Oh yeah.
I'm going to show us the as is picture again.
Okay.
And I bet, I don't know, I hope, I bet that what we see is the same color shirt separated by other colors instead of put together.
Probably. All right.
You ready? Okay, we're going to go see.
Roll the dice.
Oh, no, everything's different. Oh, no, wait a
Oh,
minute. There it is.
that pink. There's
There
pink.
it is. The pink there, the
Yep,
pink there.
yep. I see it. So, I mean, the
So
big
this is the problem. Like if you had this thing, even if you had to stick with this display, if you simply organize the colors so that the like colors are together and it's in a size run so that they stagger, so that they are organized and loved. If
love.
you exude some love on this display and exude some love by removing the bins and removing the strange bedfellow products that are on the left over there. Even if you just do that, it's going to help.
I think it's great. So Dan, I hope you're listening. I hope that you're thrilled that we did take your question and answer it online. And thank you for sharing your wall. We all have these walls in our store, so don't be listening. Think I don't have a wall like that because I'm sure you do. Dan, we would love to see the finish. So tackle this project. We'd love to, showcase what you did and show our listeners the finished product. It's possible.
Heck yes.
Yeah, right. I love that. Brian, once again, you just totally did it, man. You're magical. You just have a way of looking at things. And like, I would have never thought that. I don't know what I was thinking, but it wasn't that.
Well,
This is
we
why
make a good team, Heather. We make a good team.
you're the man. All right, so folks, that's a wrap for this episode. A reminder, we want your questions. It can be questions on design, merchandising, remodeling, entryways, exitways, staff areas, customer bathrooms. We've got a lot of questions. I mean, we've seen them all, but we haven't seen yours yet. So send it. Send your question with videos, with photos to design@nbda.com. What if people just want to send us like things they're proud of? Can they send us that too? Does it always have to be?
Heck yeah. I
Just
would
share.
love to feature things that you're proud of. We just don't typically get pictures of things that people are
We
proud
could
of.
do a whole episode of just like really cool stuff that's been sent to us and just
I
show.
would love that. Yeah, send us those pictures.
Yeah,
And
gauntlets
if you've
out.
listened to previous episodes, you know this, but just in case, this is the first one. If you want to send us questions, photos, videos, or whatever, and you want to be put into the retail protection program so that we don't use your name and we don't show the store's brand so that we're not, you know, we're not outing you for anything. If you want to be anonymous in the mix, 100% fine. And we still 1,000% appreciate the question because if you're dealing with it, there's probably hundreds of other retailers dealing with something very similar.
Yeah, there's a lot of retailers in the retailer protection program, so happy to put you there too. Yeah, listeners, thanks for listening. NBDA is thrilled to have Fixture Lab as an association member. Fixture Lab does work with our members and does offer, a NBDA member little perk. So if you're interested, reach out to Brian if you need advice or fixtures for your store. Yeah, thanks to our membership base, to our amazing community. Make sure you're paying attention to our newsletters. You can sign up for our free newsletter right on the NBDA website. Surf over to the Fixture Lab website. You can see some of their amazing stuff. And yeah, share this episode, like, subscribe, follow. Brian, anything else I forgot?
No.
That's it. All right. Well,
Mm.
go be great. Tackle those walls. Send us photos. Thanks, everyone. Bye, Brian.
Thank you.
Thanks for spending time with us on Bicycle Retail Radio. If this episode resonated with you, subscribe and share it with another retailer who could use the insight. Join us every week for new conversations and fresh perspectives to keep you ahead of the curve. The NBDA is constantly creating events, webinars, and resources built specifically for bicycle retailers. Check out what's coming up at nbda.com. Shout out to Francis Abbott for today's graphics. Interested in sponsoring an episode or know someone we should talk to? Head to nbda.com. We'd love to hear from you. Until next time.